Well, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you're watching from. Today I wanted to talk about Social Security, taking your Social Security early at 62, which is what I did. Now, I know that may not be an option for everyone, but I just want to give you a few pointers on what you need to do prior to taking your Social Security at 62. Or if you're already 62, you can take it at 62 and a half, 63, 64, anything before your full retirement age. So the first thing you need to do, you need to go to ssa.gov, make sure that's the right website. I'll try to insert a picture of that page in this video for you. So once you do that, when you go to ssa.gov, you can get a picture of what you've earned, and then there's like a little dial. Now, since I've already done it, I can't show you on mine because once you take it, you get a completely different page on your Social Security page, because then you get a page showing all your benefits that you're currently getting at the moment. So you can't go back to that page where it shows your potential earnings depending on your age. So any age you are, as long as you've been working and putting into Social Security, you can create that account, log on. I logged on through ID Me. I think there's only 2 options now. There's a different sign-in procedures, but you can check that as long as you, again, go to ssa.gov. That's the only site. And there'll be a little dial in it. You just pick what age you want to retire at, and it'll show the current rate of what you'll get. Obviously, that's not with future cost of living allowances, that'll be factored in. As a matter of fact, when I started mine, looking at it, it was originally only going to be like $1,200 or, something fairly low. But as time went on and all the cost of living increases came, and I know we had a big one after sometimes in 2022 or 23, somewhere around there, it jumped up pretty good amount. So I was pleased with that. And then we just got our cost of living allowance for this year, which was, I think, was 2.8%. So, but yeah, I think if you need to go in there and do that. So the first thing you want to do is calculate how much approximately you'll get minus any future cost of living allowances. But if you're close to 62 today, or already 62 or older, but not quite a full retirement age for whatever age you are, I think now, anyone now, it's about 67 is full retirement age. But you can take it. You do not have to wait until your full retirement age of 67. And it'll calculate how much you're going to make. Now, what I want to talk about is, just because you're collecting Social Security does not mean you can't work, but there are some rules that you have to follow when you first take it. So for me, for instance, I turned 62 in March, so I could not get my first check. You have to be like 62 in 2 months or something weird like that, or 62 in a month. My birthday's at the end of the month on the 28th, so I couldn't take it in April because it wasn't a full month before the first paycheck, so I didn't get my first paycheck until May 1st, I believe. That's how it works. 62 in a month. So yeah, I couldn't get it April 1st. I had to wait till May 1st. But I was working at the time. So at the time, the limit was, I believe, 1,400. You could only make so much per month at the first year. It's called the first year rule. So through the entire year, from May until December, it was calculated by a monthly rate. You cannot exceed that monthly rate. And I believe, again, it was like $1,400 a month. So once you reach that, you got to stop working, or you're going to lose whatever you were making in Social Security. Now, once you get into the next year, which I am in now, it goes to an annual rate. So let me look that up. Hang on a moment. Just want to insert this slide. This is what you should see on the official ssa.gov website. Okay, so I'm looking at socialsecurity.gov. So right now, if you're to retire right now, the max that you could make a month is $2,040. But the annual amount is, gosh, I just had that just a moment, 24,480. So basically what they're doing is just dividing that by 12. So your monthly maximum, if you are turning 62 this year and you want to take it, you go ahead and file. You go to ssa.gov. There are links to file it. You can also see what you make. You can use that calculator and see what right down to the month and year. It'll tell you what you're going to be making. And then if you get it and you're below full retirement age this year, then you can only make $2,040 a month on top of your Social Security. So let's say you're making $1,500 plus your $2,040 if you do max out. Then that's what you'll make a month. Now, when you get to the following year, so this is 2026, so beginning January 2027, it's considered an annual payment. So you can make 24,480. Now, if you own your own business, obviously you can make more with all your deductions. This would be what you're making after all your investments and costs to do your business. So if you are doing your own business, you can make a lot more after your deductions. You just want to make sure it's not more than 24,480. So yeah, it's worth checking out. Anyone who's done it, if you can. Obviously, not everyone can, because with the cost of living right now, I know that, you know, 16, 15, $1,600 a month is not going to cut it for you. But if you want to keep working and maybe you're in a place where you can cut back to part-time, you can go ahead and collect your Social Security and work part-time, as long as you're not making it more than the 24,480. That gives you more time to do whatever you want to do and live and enjoy life while we can. Because we all know if we wait till we're 70, gosh, then you spend, I've known so many people that waited till the full retirement age, they retire, and they were fine while they were working, and then suddenly it's like, I have one friend in particular that she never had anything wrong. We used to joke she never was on any medications. She retires, and sure enough, boom, she gets breast cancer. And then she had all kinds of bursitis issues and this. I mean, it was like one thing after another. And it's like, okay, well, now instead of going to work, I got to go to the doctor's office and go in for procedures and surgeries. And, as you get older, obviously, there's no guarantee. I don't care how much you exercise and eat right. It doesn't mean you're not going to end up with something, that you're going to end up in the hospital, or a chronic illness, or, a major illness, or anything. Anything can happen. But, and if you figure out the dollar amount, I know a lot of people have done this. There's a lot of Social Security videos out there. A lot of people have calculated, if you wait until whenever, how much money you're going to lose. You're going to work to death just to get that extra $500 more a month. Is it worth it? You have to figure that out for you, and whatever's best for your situation that you're in. For me, it worked out really good. I'm enjoying it. Be honest with you, I love not getting up to an alarm clock. I've done it since I was in high school, pretty much, because my school started at 7 a.m. We had overcrowding in one school while they were building the other. Our classes started at 7 a.m. Well, actually, I take that back. If you were 9th and 10th, you went from noon to 5. So really 10th and 11th. I had to be in class at 7 a.m. This means I had to be up by 6, get myself ready and get off to school. And then, of course, I was working from the time I was 14 years old, doing babysitting full-time in the summer. I worked a full-time job in high school through the Future Business Leaders of America. I went to school for like 2 hours. And then they actually got me in at the VA, of all things, working there. And then I went in the military and got to be up early for that. And, most of my jobs were day shift, got to be at work by 8 o'clock. So with kids, you got to get up, get them to daycare center. So again, now I get up when I want, which is typically around 6 to 7 a.m. I try to keep that schedule. But now I come down in my pajamas and I enjoy a nice warm cup of coffee. My 2 cups, that's my thing. I said, when I retire, I want to be able to have my 2 cups of coffee before I do anything. So that's kind of my motto. And that's what I enjoy doing. But again, yeah, if you go to the ssa.gov, that's the first place you got to start. Sign up for an account. And I think if you sign up the first time, I had to wait for a PIN to come. So I had to wait in the mail for a PIN to come before I could set up the account completely. So you may want to get on that right away, regardless of your age. Check it out. See where you're at. Make sure all your earnings are there. If you worked since a certain year and you don't see any earnings in there, you may want to contact them to find out why those earnings aren't in there. But mine show right from the time I was working when I was 16 years old, working at the Baskin Robbins ice cream shop. That was my first job. So besides babysitting. So yeah, and I think you have to have 10 years in of work, but that's not always the case. There's always exceptions. But and it also shows you how much you would make if you're going on disability. And it breaks down every year earnings, how much you put in. So it's a really good website to give you a snapshot of where you're going to be when you're ready to take your Social Security, or if you're ready right now. It'll tell you exactly what you're going to be making right now if you go ahead and sign up today. And I believe you can sign up if you know, let's say you're turning 62 in June or March or April or any time, you can do it 90 days before the month of your birthday. So like for me, it was March. I signed up January 1st. I said, oh, I'm just going to sign right up. And it was almost immediate. So it's not necessary to do it that early, but I got an approval right away. And they said, your first check will be in May. And I was like, wow, that was just too easy. You set up your bank account. You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to do anything. You go in there, you sign up, you say, I want to start it. And you put in your direct deposit information. And that's it. You wait for that check to come. So again, I mean, don't wait. If you really, really are able to retire now and you want to, um, don't torture yourself. If you're in a job that you really are enjoying and you don't want to, that's fine. But if you're able to go down part-time and just start getting a little time to yourself, if it's just a walk on the beach, a trip to see grandkids, an activity that you want to do, but it's always during the day when everyone's, working and you can't do it because you have to work, why not go for it? Yeah. So, well, I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know any comments if anyone's, decided to do it. And I'm excited for anyone who is ready to retire and just be done with that day to day, 9 to 5, 8 to 5, whatever it is. And the driving. I don't know where you live, but I'm in Pinellas County, Florida, and there's only so many roads here. And it's just, to travel, just to travel back and forth to work, you have to add that extra hour to 2 hours a day, depending on how far you commute to a job. So get a little of your life back. Enjoy it. Do something you enjoy. Don't stress. And the more you work, the older you are, the more stressed you are, the more sick you're going to be when you get older. You're going to have issues. We don't want that to happen. We want you to be able to spend your time with your family and do things that you enjoy doing. All right. Have a good day, everyone.